This is the Indonesia Channel.
Coming up on today's Indonesia, Indonesia hopes to recover from football crisis following FIFA sanction. The annual Jakarta Fair has kicked off, aimed at attracting millions of dollars in transaction, and an insight to electronic giant Maspion's reign in a global market. Selamat berjumpa lagi. Welcome to today's Indonesia from Jakarta. I am Louisa Kusnandar. The government will push ahead with reforms in football management following the sanction imposed by world governing body FIFA. The sports ministry on Sunday stated that it would take full responsibility and improve the national football's performance. On Saturday, FIFA suspended the Indonesia Soccer Association or PSSI, citing government interference in its affairs.
Maka ini kesempatan bagi kita semua bangsa Indonesia untuk introspeksi, untuk menahan diri, untuk merencanakan sesuatu yang lebih besar dari itu untuk peningkatan prestasi kita.
The sanction means Indonesia soccer teams will be ineligible to join 2018 World Cup and also the Asian Cup. However, FIFA made an exception for national team competing in 2015 SEA Games, which kicked off last Friday in Singapore. The dispute between PSSI and Sports Ministry started with the ministry blocking two soccer teams from playing, but PSSI resisted. Indonesia was supposed to solve the row by Friday last week, but it failed to do so. Let's get perspective now from our viewpoint analyst. Wimar Witoelar is here. He's a former presidential spokesman, now running his own communications company. Wimar, welcome. First of all, what's your thought on this sanction? Are you surprised?
I'm surprised that the government has enough courage to do it, because it's something that should have done long ago. I mean, a tough stand on the corruption which is prevalent in Indonesian soccer, Indonesian football. I think President Jokowi has made a very brave stand in taking over the responsibility and saying he is responsible for basically closing down the PSSI, because Indonesian football for a long time has been dominated by people who make money from bribery, from score fixing. It's something everybody knows, but nobody knows how to deal with it. As a result, the national team never is able to gather enough strength, and they never win any medals.
Exactly. Now that this has happened, what kind of short-term solution can we do to actually retract the sanction?
No, I don't think we need to retract the sanction of FIFA, because we do not need FIFA at this point. FIFA is useful if we have any hope of doing well in FIFA sanctioned tournaments like the World Cup or Olympic Games or what have you. But we are very far from achieving anything there. We never go beyond the first round. So it's not a pleasant thing, but let's just take one step backward. Forget FIFA. They are ridden by their own corruption scandal anyway.
Exactly.
So forget FIFA and just improve things internally without the taint of corruption.
So you think there is no actually urgency to actually retract this sanction?
No, the more urgent thing is to develop a healthy national football tournament, and to develop young footballers, and to develop a national team. There's no urgency to take part in international tournaments.
Okay, so you mentioned just now that FIFA itself is actually involved with a corruption scandal. Do you think their decision is credible enough in determining our fate then?
Well, that is the authority. We are members of FIFA. They have the authority to suspend PSSI, but they have no authority to suspend the Indonesian government. And that's where the Jokowi's intelligence shows. We do away with FIFA and we do away with PSSI, which is dominated by people everybody knows are corrupt. And so he will start with a new fresh. The transition team is full of good people. In fact, it's led by people who have experience in the KPK, because Indonesian soccer is a story of corruption.
So you think this is looking pretty promising for the future of Indonesian football?
It's tough, but it's more promising than forever being used, being dominated by gamblers.
That's true. Now, FIFA stated that the suspension would be lifted once PSSI was able to regain control and also settle the affairs independently. Do you think this is actually possible?
I don't think we have to work towards that. It's possible, but why should we mess around with crime-ridden or corruption-ridden institute? We can just make a new football federation, and the state is stronger than the sports organization.
But it's not that simple, is it?
No, it's not simple. It's difficult. Tough medicine is hard. If you have a tough disease, it's very tough to reduce my weight. You have to have some discipline. It works, you know, in the long run, but you have to have the political will.
Well, it sure sounded that our president has been making tough choices.
I am surprised. I am proud that he is indeed as tough as he promises to be. No president has ever had that courage.
Okay, last question here, Wimar. How do you see the future of our national soccer team then?
Maybe in about 5 years they will, maybe in about 2 years they can rise up to South Asian level. It's ridiculous if they cannot be stronger than Vietnam, even East Timor.
Talent-wise, we have so much talented soccer players.
There are like 10 Indonesian descendants in the European League. Van Persie has Indonesian lineage. Van Bronckhorst has Indonesian lineage. So many Indonesians take part in competitions. Now this guy, Nainggolan, right, is going to play for British Premier League. So we have enough individual players. We have good coaches. But we have too many gamblers as the owners of the clubs.
Okay, Wimar Witoelar, thank you so much for coming and sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you.
On this topic today.
Thank you, Louisa.